Three, two, one.
We're live.
Let's get shit done.
Let's get shit done. That's
All
right.
right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Eric, you were just beginning to tell me about something quite spectacular that's occurred. Where I understand that this week, like all of the planets in our solar system are going to align, and then that's not going to happen for another, however many years.
Okay.
So maybe there's the planetary conjunction that's helping you to somehow come into a new type of alignment.
Could be. I don't know. Yeah. I heard about that planetary alignment. I didn't realize that was happening right now.
I could be wrong. Like, I believe the stuff I read on Facebook sometimes.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Oh my God. I love like alien stuff and like ancient monoliths and like, 10,000 year old like alien masonry, in Mexico or whatever. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but like I do think there are aliens. I do think aliens have been here and probably are here, and that there's some crazy stuff out there. But AI, I think, is so good at coming up with these fake stories and fake images that look good. They look pretty good.
I know.
I don't know whether I'm reading fiction or whether I'm reading something that's based in some level of historical fact half the time. But I do love reading them. It's funny how the lines are blurring between what is like totally blurring between what is and isn't real.
Yep.
Are we talking to a AI Eric Oliver this morning? Is that what's happening?
I don't know. Could be. So yeah, I was starting to tell you the story before we jumped on here, and I did something yesterday that I haven't done in about 25 years. The last time I did this was in the year 2000, and I shaved my face. And yeah, I think I've done it a total amount of times, like a total of about 3 times ever in the course of my 47 years.
Wow.
Yep. And yeah, the first maybe 2 times I was pretty young and I barely had any facial hair, so it didn't make a whole lot of impact. And then when I did it in the year 2000, I had a bit of facial hair and I shaved it, and it was definitely felt shocking for me, and I didn't really like it, and I never did it again until yesterday. I was curious. It was just kind of like an experiment, because I've changed and grown and evolved, and I'm in such a different place than I was back then. On my birthday, Claudia had taken me to the barber shop, and I got my beard professionally shaped and trimmed, and it was looking really great. And I had never had that before. And my beard grows fairly rapidly, and it was no longer shaped and trimmed, and it was turning into a hippie beard again. I was like,
it happens. It happens most of the time.
I know, right?
Something to trim it. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And I have these little like clippers, but it was not working out, and I was just kind of, I don't know, wanted to give it a fresh, clean start, and I shaved it, and it definitely feels shocking, and I'm not sure that I like it, but it grows fast, and I don't know that I'd do it again. It might be another 25 years.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Well,
or maybe never.
I encourage you.
Yeah.
So I've had 20/20 vision my whole life.
Okay. I've got this sunspot right on me.
Yeah, I noticed that until a couple of years ago, when suddenly all of the damn ingredient labels suddenly got smaller, and they started printing and everything in smaller font. And I was like, what the heck?
Yep.
And of course, they didn't start printing anything in smaller font. And I was very thankful to my friend Gene, who had once left a pair of his reading glasses at my house.
Oh.
And so I very often find myself reading with.
Oh, cool. Yeah, well, it's a good look.
Reading glasses. Yep. But you know, Todd Herman is a fascinating marketer and entrepreneur and author.
Okay.
And he has a book called The Alter Ego Effect. And it's basically this idea about how to step into a certain situation and turn your superpowers on. And
Cool.
how to use things, props, in order to help like get you in the zone. And he talks about how top athletes, musicians, speakers, political figures have like these rituals to kind of like lock in and get in the zone when it's go time.
All right.
Time to go on camera. Like you have a mental, internal, often a physical ritual that you go through in order to like get ready to rock. Right. And so Todd Herman, when he goes on stage, he puts on a pair of glasses, but they're not prescription. They just make him look a little smarter,
right?
Somehow. And so it's kind of like the reverse Clark Kent Superman effect. It's like he puts on the glasses, and all of a sudden his extroverted, alive, connected, engaging self can come out fully while he's on stage, and then he can shift into another version when he goes off stage.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Or whatever. So it's kind of like learning how to shift in and out of these different personas.
Right.
And that doesn't mean pretending to be someone that you're not, but it does mean using what you've got better and when appropriate, you know, and giving it more where appropriate. And so I like I've changed my hairstyle, I could say, hair and facial hairstyle many times with many combinations over the years. And this started in high school, you know, when I like pierced my eyebrow and my septum and got a mohawk, you know, and like was dyeing my hair green and whatever. And being a hypnotist, I mean, I'm a hypnotist and guru and serial internet entrepreneur, and I've been doing that kind of moves for over 20 years. And so I kind of want to be taken seriously as a hypnotist, as a hypnotherapist. I'm going to reach inside your mind, but I'm also a goofball and very, you know, silly and off the wall and have over the top ideas. And so I've been completely clean cut. I've had crazy hair coming out of my head and a crazy beard. I've had crazy hair with no beard. I've had a crazy beard with no hair. You know, right now I'm pretty like fairly normal looking, I guess. I have a reasonable beard and reasonable hair.
Right.
And different, like you have your long-term fans and followers who are going to like you no matter what and are going to be into the transformations you go through, both in your physical appearance, as well as the way that you speak, as well as where your focus is or how you're building your following. Like the people that stick with you over time will be cool with the ride. But in the meantime, there are going to be lots of people that are going to like come and go in terms of their awareness of you or the awareness of your businesses or whatever it is you're promoting. And they may or may not vibe with it. And you will be shocked if you pay attention to the different types of people that will be attracted to you, that will proactively engage with you, that will engage with you. Like basically people are going to treat you more seriously. They're going to, if you're shaved, they're going to, you know, and you have a haircut, they're going to think that you have your shit together and you're not a total slob. They're, you know, if you wear a button-up shirt, a nice button-up shirt and a blazer or a jacket, like people are just like, whoa, well, the guy's pro, you know, like, you know, or whatever. And then, what also happens, I mean, we talked about this before, is like, if you want to be attractive to customers with money, then you might want to wear the type of clothes that they wear. And invest in that. And or at least the level of quality, right? Because there's a huge difference between a $10 button-up shirt, $100 button-up shirt, a $450 button-up shirt, and a $2,500 button-up shirt. Like, right? And so you don't want to be, you also want to be comfortable with what you're wearing.
Yep.
Otherwise you just will seem like a total poser.
Yep.
You want to be, you want it to be authentic.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's, it's a process. And your facial hair and your haircut is a huge part of your costume. And
Right.
people are so judgmental. Everyone. It doesn't matter what kind of person they are. They're all judgmental as the ever living bejesus. They're just like full on judgment all the time. They
Yep.
don't even, and nobody realizes it because our attention spans are so short these days. Right. So I encourage you to try different looks and think about it like an experiment to see how it affects how people respond to you.
Sure. Okay.
Because it will
Yeah.
totally make a difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like an experiment of how I feel also.
Also, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then it's also important to remember like the physical world is just like superficial to begin with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Like, so it's interesting. It's like at the end of the day, what's under the hood is what counts anyway. But
Right.
But still, split second decisions. Are, like people make all sorts of judgments, and good, bad, ugly, whatever, and like. Yeah, and then it changes over time. It changes over time. And if you enter different markets, the way people respond to you changes too.
Right, sure. Yep.
It's kind of like certain markets, and it doesn't mean you always have to play by the rules, but you do need to at least learn the rules if you want the market to respond to you. Right.
Yep.
So I think you'll look good. I think you'll probably sell more stuff clean shaven. Is
Maybe.
my unfortunate experience. I mean, I remember this with
Okay.
Tellman Salsa, dude. This hit me like a ton of bricks.
Oh, really?
So, like this is one of the reasons Tellman Salsa never succeeded, dude.
Because
Is
the
like
label had your beard and
I had
blue hair.
I was like 19. I had blue long dyed hair with a septum ring, an eyebrow ring, and like a straggly patchy beard. Okay.
Yep.
And that was the picture on the front of the salsa.
I remember.
And like I'd show up at the grocery stores that I'm trying, or the health food stores that I'm trying to sell my salsa to, with the same straggly beard, with like the dirty jeans that still have salsa stains on them, like these like hand printed one-off printed brochures we printed from the computer like that morning in the apartment, and trying to sell them a case of salsa, and they're like, why would they believe that like it's even clean,
Exactly.
that it's even
Right,
sanitary?
that's probably
You know what I mean?
thinking, yeah.
Like I quite literally, I mean, I was fine, but like I have long blue iridescent unbrushed hair, and I was walking around trying to sell salsa and wondering why people wouldn't buy it from me. And so people have judgments that have nothing to do with their personality. It's just like the culture that they grew up in.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And so it's very interesting. So anyway, it'll be an interesting experiment on all rounds. Keep us informed with how it goes.
I will. Yeah.
Cool. Well, dude, what's your positive focus?
My positive focus, I slept in till 7 a.m. this morning.
Cool.
Which in the past, that would have been waking up early.
All right, dude. So we haven't really I hit this hard. Is I noticed that you had several weeks of bad sleep.
I did.
We had a talk about it.
Yep.
And within a few days, you seemed like you were sleeping much better, and you've been reporting in on good to great sleep. So
right.
What did you change?
What did I change?
Now, I understand that there are aspects of the situation that might be outside of your control that may have changed, but I'm not interested in those. I'm interested in what you changed.
Right. That's what I'm trying to think about. Right. Because immediately what first comes to mind is like external factors. But what did I change?
Yeah.
Okay, well, more recently, I've been listening to a hypnosis session every night as I'm going to bed.
Ah.
And that's changed a lot. I mean, that puts me right to sleep. Yeah, right in the zone. And then, you know, I kind of come back right at the end of the session, but then I go immediately right into sleep after that.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, so
awesome.
that's something I've been doing the past week, which has been awesome. If there's ever a night, which sometimes there is, where I'm like, you know, I've been working all day into the night and then it's time for bed and my mind is still like very active and it's hard to sleep, I'll go into the hypnosis session and then I'm able to go right to sleep afterwards. Whereas if I didn't do that, then like, yeah, I'd just continue laying there thinking about things for who knows how long, till 2 in the morning or later. Yeah.
Do you pick like a random session in the library, or do you cycle through them in order, or how do you do it?
Well, most recently I've been listening to the new ones you just gave me in the wealth method. And those ones are cool. You were right when you said the sound quality is exceptional. It's really clear. And yeah, I feel really excited about those ones. And prior to that, I was just kind of cycling through different ones that seemed resonant, different things that, you know, I was listening to what was it called? Not the wealth thermostat, the wealth, what was that one? The one where you can adjust the
money thermostat.
The money thermostat. Yeah. I was listening to that one several nights, and then also the wealth switch.
Yeah.
Yep.
The audio.
Yeah. And then there was a couple of nights where I was really having a hard time sleeping, and I just listened to the sleep switch, and that just put me right out.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
Cool. All right, dude. Well, I'm glad you're having good sleep. That's wonderful.
Thanks. Yeah.
Nice. What am I happy about today? I guess I'm feeling a little grumpy today. Let's see. It's
okay.
But that's not the exercise.
That's not, no.
It is snowing out. But it's kind of a wet, pain in the butt snow, so I'm not that thrilled about that. You know what I'm happy about? I dodged my girlfriend's cold.
Good job.
Yeah, she had a bad cold, and I thought I was going to get it, and it looks like I successfully dodged it, and fit as a fiddle, as they say.
All right.
Fit as a fiddle. I also had a pretty sweet realization yesterday about get shit done and get shit done challenges, dude. So I think we're going to talk about your webinar in a minute.
Okay.
But I think I know what we're going to do.
Okay, cool.
So rather than doing a full-on 12-week boot camp, I think we're going to do an 8-week sprint. And before we do the 8-week sprint, part of what we're going to offer is the 7-day Get Shit Done Challenge. Get more shit done in 7 days than most people get done all month.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Yep.
We're going to teach you the 7 core principles of get shit done. We're going to hypnotize you for 7 days in a row, maybe. We're going to I was thinking about doing a get shit done lesson, doing a hypnosis session, and doing a work party every day for 7 days. But that might be too much. Need to think it through. The idea is, though, that there are 7 core components to the get shit done framework. And, those components are, number one is BHAG, right? It's your goal, your big, hairy, audacious goal, setting a big, awesome, intense, motivating, thrilling, invigorating, exciting, tantalizing goal that is outside of your comfort zone, attainable, but kind of crazy, right?
Yep.
The second one, and measurable, like you have to set a goal that is actually measurable and that like you can see it's going to be done. And often there's a achievement oriented aspect of the goal. And then there's a financial, with entrepreneurs anyway, there's usually a financial aspect to the goal. And so the second piece is mindset. And we of course use hypnosis in order to adjust, improve, enhance your mindset, your perspective, your ways of thinking, your ways of looking at things, your ways of processing, your ways of believing, feeling as you're approaching all this stuff. And then there's your shit list, and that's putting together your action items, right? The most important items that you need to knock out right now that are going to move the needle the most in your business. And then there's your work parties, where you get together with other people and you do the hard work. And then there's accountability, which I think is a community actually. And it's actually being connected with a group of people that are working with you at the same time to do these projects, to do this work together, whether you have a team that you work with in your company, whether you're building and recruiting a team for your network marketing company, whether you are slowly assembling a team for your digital marketing company, whatever it happens to be, right? Yep. And then there's the action plan, which is like, if your BHAG, your big goal is going to happen over 90 days or a year or whatever it is, you want to have a very clearly defined day-by-day action plan so that you know what to do on a regular basis and then you know what to do one-off along the way in order to make that goal a reality, right? And so these are all the concepts. There are 7 core concepts to get shit done. And so my idea was teach each concept over the course of 7 days. I was thinking about doing a work party and, giving them like 5 examples of things that they could do in 7 days that would move the needle for their business. And then like auto generate 7-day to-do list action plan for them using the Get Shit Done Taskmaster, right? And so the idea is, or something like this. And so the idea is do a 7-day challenge, have people get a taste of getting shit done, like 7-day super burst. And they plan to do something very concrete in 7 days. They decide to do it. They get a plan, and then they schedule in the time to do it. They do it with other people, and they knock it out. Right?
Awesome. Yep.
And so that would be a taste of what could happen. Just imagine what could happen in 8 weeks if you just did that in 1 week. Right? Well, so now and I think I was thinking $1,000. $1,000 for an 8-week sprint. And I don't think we would do a work party every day, but several times a week. And then again, we would have a weekly coaching call about the concept, probably a weekly hypnosis session and a weekly Q&A. And they might be one big call, or it might be 2 calls or something. But the idea is in 8 weeks, and then so that's the idea, is do a low ticket challenge and $1,000 challenge. And again, we would have, a few auto generated action plans for people who don't know what to do, but we would probably talk about that in the videos and talk about that in the webinars and this kind of stuff, where it'd be like, look, here are the types of things that you can do. But if you don't have any idea what to do, don't sign up for this. If you have no clue what you want to do in the next 8 weeks in order to grow your business, this is not the place for you.
Yeah, they probably need a different program. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You have to have some idea which direction you're going, right?
Yep. Then they can talk to me.
That's right. So let's see. Oh, okay. We got a couple of people jumping in. We got Matt.
Hey, Matt.
Patterson.
Morning.
How's it going, Matt? Matt's all blacked out today.
Oh, yeah.
Liz Fuller.
Hey, Liz.
Good morning. Liz Fuller, listen to that podcast. That's funny. The Hot Sauce podcast. Did you listen to any of that, dude?
I listened to like the first 5 minutes. I've had really full days. I haven't actually several days.
I tried 3 times to listen to it and I got interrupted every time.
Yep. But yeah, looking forward to hearing that.
It's very funny. Yeah. Yep. So okay. So let's get into it here. So we want to talk about webinars. We want to talk about webinars. So I said, Eric, what do you want to talk about today? And you said,
oh, yeah, something along the lines of how to avoid burnout and find that sweet spot in between getting shit done and having my foot on the gas and moving forward at a rapid pace, but before the threshold of burnout. And that's been something I seem to keep repeating the cycle of doing exactly that. I'll just put my foot on the accelerator and just be crushing it, and then just like, fall flat on my face and crash and burn, and then have to rebuild my energy and momentum. And I kind of burned out yesterday. Part of it was, I think, the infrared sauna workout. I didn't hydrate.
Literally burnout.
Yeah, exactly. So I just had a splitting headache all day yesterday. I feel good today. So I don't feel like I burned out as hard as I have in previous times, but I do notice the cycle.
Hold on. Let's talk. Okay. So we're going to talk about your webinar here in a minute, but let's just address this burnout session for burnout question. So I want to know, without you using any metaphors.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. What happens when you burn out and why it's a problem? Specific, like, don't use any crash and burn face on the, I know you didn't actually, your face didn't hit the floor.
Right. Exactly.
Problem, right?
I just feel really exhausted. My cognitive function is diminished. I'll feel just groggy and like a zombie, basically. Okay, so there's a metaphor. But I feel just like really foggy and groggy and slow moving.
That happens to me.
Okay.
And I don't eat 3 meals a day.
All right.
Does that happen to you when you don't eat 3 meals a day? Like 3 healthy meals, like fortifying.
Probably. Yeah, there's probably days where I'm just so engaged in my work that I'm kind of snacking throughout the day and not on the healthiest things.
Yeah. So look, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with eating throughout the day if that's how you've decided to eat, but doing it unintentionally isn't going to get you where you are.
Right. Exactly.
So look, I'm not saying this is the answer to your problem, dude, but if I've always been a little bit hypoglycemic, and if I don't eat at least three solid meals, I'm like la land. I'm like 1/10 as productive.
Yep.
So step 1, schedule in your meals, including cook time, put it on your calendar every single day.
Okay. And
if you want to jump into meal prep and doing that stuff in advance, rock and roll, all the easier. If you get into that, but schedule in 45 minutes for each meal, dude. Between cooking it, eating it, and cleaning up, it usually takes an hour. Sorry, know. And hey, if you're synchronized with Claudia, that's great if it works together with your schedules and that's what you want to do or whatever. But even if it's a smoothie in the morning or whatever, I highly recommend scheduling in mealtime and eating consistently, because your output is, if you're not feeding yourself regularly, you're going to run out of gas. And literally, in most cases, it's because you're not feeding yourself consistently enough. Or at least that's the mistake I make all the time.
All right. Yeah, I guess
right?
that's probably an element that I've just been overlooking. And yeah, it seems pretty obvious to me now that you say it. Yeah, right.
Seriously, it's a common issue, right?
Yeah,
and
it is. Yep.
if people are eating like crappy frozen pizzas or like garbage food in any way, I know you eat pretty healthy, but like, like guys, eating 3 meals a day doesn't mean eating 3 frozen meals a day. Okay. It means like 3 healthy meals that you cook, not that you heat. And so, like, learn to cook. Take a cooking class or 5, right? So very important, in my opinion. So, however, outside of just food, okay. So what I recommend is that you literally try this for a while, and you probably won't stick to it.
Okay.
But like, try it for a while and see where it goes. Really schedule in your downtime. Schedule everything in.
Okay.
Yep. So the way to avoid burnout is to schedule in relaxation time or free time where you're not allowed to work.
Yep. That's another thing that I haven't been doing, is scheduling in downtime. And
well, dude, I mean, that's what I'm telling you to do it. So of course you're burning out. You're not eating consistently. And then so like, I have to, like, basically my kids are with me half time. They come home from school, and like, I'm with them, right? And or at least I'm available to be with them. And if and most of the time they're like, leave me alone, Dad. And I might be able to squeeze some work in, but I can't count on that time for work, right?
Yep.
If I don't schedule in time for exercise, I don't exercise. If I don't schedule in time to play music with friends every now and again, I don't play music. If I don't schedule in a date night with my girlfriend, we don't go out on date nights. Like, sometimes things happen spontaneously, and that's great.
Yep.
And if something cool comes up spontaneously that interferes with your regular regimen, maybe like break it for the day or whatever. But like, if you're not scheduling in time to meditate, or if you're not scheduling in time to like go out and listen to some music somewhere or whatever, like, I mean, that's why you're burning out.
That makes sense. Yep.
It's like,
I'll get in these grooves sometimes where I'm just so enthralled with what I'm working on and determined to get through it and excited about what I'm working on, that I'll just, like, everything else just fades away, and I'm just like crushing it, and I'll go all day into the night until it's time for bed, and I've just haven't had any downtime. I haven't been eating properly and just kind of grazing throughout the day on whatever. Maybe I'll have a good meal at some point, maybe not. And okay. Yep. I feel like
welcome to the real life entrepreneurship, working from home. Like, you have to feed yourself.
Exactly.
Like, show up on time, be on the schedule. Like, working for yourself, it's like, in order to be successful with it, honestly, you have to be way more regimented than you do with a job. Like,
right.
Because you're juggling all these things. With a job, you like go in, you work for 8 hours, and you leave. That's not how it works.
They have your lunch break already scheduled in.
Yeah, that's right. So that stuff's really important. So it sounds like I don't think you're working too hard, dude. I think that you're just not scheduling in. Like, if you if you really schedule in essentially from 9 to 5, maybe 9 to 6, but probably 9 to 5-ish to work, take a lunch break at 1 for 45 minutes or whatever. And you do that, 6 days a week. I mean, and you really double down on the things that are important to grow, like you're fine, but like schedule in your chill time too, or you're not gonna be able to hold it. You're just gonna break.
No, it's true.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I'll try some of that stuff. I'll try, just getting more scheduled with all the stuff that's not work.
Yeah, because I mean, you need a balance of all these things to some degree,
Yeah. Yep.
And so, okay, cool, great. So, that's the get shit done way to avoid burnout. Schedule in your time off. So, time block that shit. All right, so let's talk a little bit about webinars.
Yeah, let's do it.
So what's the issue? What's the problem?
Well, there's a couple of problems. I mean, first and foremost, well, I don't know which one is first and foremost. So there's the piece of content that I just put out, and it's a promotion for my webinar, but there's other elements to it also. I don't go right into, hey, I've got this webinar. I'm talking about waking up really early. I'm talking about my workout regimen that I've been on lately, and that kind of thing, and then going into the webinar stuff for later on in the post. And it got it got 5 likes and no engagement. And what I'm noticing, so that's one problem, that's one issue. But then in general, like I used to get a lot of engagement and on my content years back. I mean, tremendous compared to what I'm getting now. And I've heard a lot of people talk about this. I know that there's been a shift in the algorithms where they've put a damper on people's reach on Facebook significantly.
Yeah.
And my feeling is they probably want people to pay for ads and that kind of thing.
Of course they want people to pay for ads, dude. Come on, there's no, like all the social media platforms are fueled by paid ads.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah, so they've diminished my reach.
That's a reality.
Dramatically.
So that's a secret.
That's a what?
That's a golden treasure you just uncovered, and you're like saying it really like, oh, they want you to pay for ads, dude. It's like the magic bullet. It's of course, so pay for ads.
Right. Okay.
If you can, right? Try that.
Right.
Right. But you're right. This is the natural curve of all social media platforms, and it's the natural curve of all subsets of posting within each of the social media platforms. As in Facebook, for example, we have Facebook groups, but we also have a normal written Facebook post, but we also have a Facebook Live, but we also have a Facebook Reel, and we also have a Facebook story, and I don't even understand the difference between reels and stories. So that's just, and there are actually like a dozen more types of ways that you can post on Facebook that are the lesser known ways of interacting, including poking people. The poke feature still exists.
Yeah, that's old. It's old school. I know. I noticed it kind of resurfaced recently.
Yeah. It's kind of trending right now.
Yeah.
So, but like each one of those features within a given platform tends to follow that same curve, right? Yep. And we already know that a few years ago, doing Facebook live streams was infinitely more effective than it is right now. Okay, definitely. If we were doing a daily Facebook live stream 4 years ago, right now we'd have 400 viewers instead of 4 viewers, right? Yep. And so so we're creating a lot of live streamed content that we're then rebroadcasting and publishing on multiple platforms, right? So we're not relying on the live stream. We just happen to be broadcasting live because it's convenient and we can get the job done on a consistent basis, right?
Yep.
And it's cool to be able to interact with some people, because I mean, we only have a few active live viewers, but Matt Patterson's one of them, and he's saying, "What's up? Good morning." And Liz said that she listened to that podcast episode last night, and then Matt's asking about AI lead capturing for home maintenance business. Matt, I don't understand what you want us to do with that. Are you trying to ask us a question? If so, please do. Or give us a little bit more instruction on what we're talking about with AI lead capturing for home maintenance business. And then, yes, that can be avoided. I've done a lot of work in helping groups and individuals with that. Not quite sure what you're talking about, Liz, but I'm glad whatever we said was resonant.
Yeah.
So, all right. Anyway, look, the algorithm changed. So what? Let's get back to the point.
Right.
You aren't getting enough people to register for your webinar.
Correct.
Or to respond to your Facebook posts about your webinar. And you're like, what the heck?
Right. Or like most of my, even my non-related business or my non-business related content, that's just kind of sharing inspiration and whatever. Yeah, a lot of my content's falling flat lately. And ultimately, I'm probably not posting enough content in general. And that could be affecting my algorithms.
Right.
Yep.
So, okay, look, dude, social media has never been my best. Like, email was by far my best, like, money making medium, like email. And before the world of webinars, teleseminars, I really crushed it with audio only teleseminars. It was like really natural for me.
Right.
And email is really natural for me too. Or natural, I don't know. Maybe I just studied it more than anything else. Maybe it's
How
not
did you
natural.
build such a massive email list back in the day if you were not using social media to do that?
Well, social media didn't exist when I started.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So, different question, but similar. Like, the answer is actually related. So, all right. Look, you are not getting anyone to register for your webinar because you're not speaking to anyone about anything. The only thing you're talking to people right now about is taking 7 steps to achieve success. There's nothing tangible there. You're not talking to network marketers. You're not talking to coaches. You're not talking to consultants. You're not talking to single moms. You're not like, it's vague.
Right. Yeah. I need to get much more specific on my needs. I know that. Yep.
The audience is completely open, and I look, I'm not looking at the page right now. Okay. So I'm speaking off the top of my head a little bit, but you're and the benefit, it's too vague.
It's too vague. Got it.
And so, if you dude, if you want network marketers who want to plug into an opportunity and freaking crush it, and to join an amazing team of network marketers that are super ninja, then come join us. But like, I think your hesitation, your hesitation on the network marketing thing is really holding you back.
Okay.
However, I might be wrong about that, as I've said, and that's not the real lesson here. So it's like, if your social media. So I think your messaging is too vague. I don't think you're clear enough on your audience. I don't think you're clear enough on what you're going to give them and the benefits of them opting in for anything, webinar or otherwise. Okay.
Okay.
So I think you need to get clear and
Yep.
just like get clear and try it. And if you can get it to work, then keep doing it. If you can't get it to work, try something else. That's the deal. Just be more willing to have egg on your face, dude. Be more willing to screw it up. But just try stuff. Experiment.
All right.
Experiment.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. More action and more creative action.
Okay.
So, and without thinking, just do it.
Just do it. Sure.
Example. Network marketing superstars. Case in point.
Yep.
Act on it.
Okay.
Act on it. Take action now if you can. I'm not saying spend all your money on stupid shit. Okay. Yep. But like, if you can take action on an idea when the idea strikes, do it. Don't hem and haw. Okay. Success loves speed. So here's the idea is that if you want to get your webinar converting better, well, first of all, I have the same problems that you have. Okay. Like everyone struggles with the same stuff. We all want our stuff to be doing better than it is. And for some of us, it's doing great. And we want it to do extraordinary. For some people, it's doing nothing. And we want it to do something. And for some people, it's doing something. We want it to do better, whatever.
Yep.
And so I've never been like super good at social media. And so whenever I've wanted to get good on a social media platform or good at some aspect of social media, I watch a whole bunch of YouTube videos and then I buy somebody's course. Okay. So right now, as I've mentioned before, this is one of the things that we're doing with Get Shit Done. Okay. So for a long time, I've been an avid follower and customer of Frank Kern. I interviewed Frank for our List Pros course back in the day. It was one of the core modules. He was a huge promoter of it, as I recall. So I've known Frank a long time, and I've bought a lot of his stuff. And more often than not, when I've implemented his stuff, it's made me a significant amount of money. So the way that he thinks and goes about doing things is in alignment with me and the way I think and the kind of stuff that I sell. It's worked for me many times in the past.
Okay.
And so he has a methodology that he's teaching right now, and selling a program about. And I've verbalized this to you before on a couple calls with Ganesh and things. But the basic idea is this, okay, is that it used to be that we build a big email list. A small percentage of people would buy our product or service on the thank you page after we built the list. Some of those people would take the upsells and we make a bunch of money. Some people would schedule sales calls and buy high ticket stuff. And then you'd mail your email list relentlessly until they bought something. Yep. or unsubscribed. And people would find, and myself very included in this, all sorts of creative reasons to email the list and all sorts of creative ways to email the list and try to find ways of mailing the list that people consistently respond to and are engaged with and buy from, that doesn't, and so on. And communicate a lot with your email list. The problem is that, number one, is email is harder to get through and get inbox than ever, and it's continually getting harder. Two is everybody and their uncle has an email list now, so people are on a crap load of lists. So even if your email does get to the inbox they're more crowded than ever. So open rates are lower and getting harder and harder to measure because of all the updates that are going on across the email ecosphere. In the meantime, people's attention spans are getting shorter and they want more because we're getting inundated with so many ads all the time. So we're actually wanting to make buying decisions faster, but we also want to have trust in who we're buying from.
Yep.
So what Frank has done is he's bypassed the whole opt into an email list and follow up relentlessly until they buy something thing, because that game basically has died. Okay. Or it's dying. It's been slowly dying for a long time, but he really identified it in a super intelligent way. And now, instead of a daily email broadcast, he's doing his daily social media post.
Okay.
And the daily social media post is a text-based post. There's an image and there's copy. Okay. And the copy gives away something cool that has to do with the story or the education that you gave them in the post. And the image in the post isn't just an image. The images in the post is the equivalent of your subject line in an email. It's the equivalent of your headline in a sales letter. It is the attention-getting, pattern-interrupting moment. It's the first impression moment. It's either going to capture their attention and they're going to continue to read, or they're going to leave. Okay.
Got it.
And the image, he's more often than not using like an image made in Canva that's a square image, and it just has like a headline on it, essentially. Okay. But it's social media friendly. It's written like a social media headline. And, it'll be like a black background with like a big bold promise, and it says details in description, details in caption, right? And then people will read the post. Maybe it's 1,000-word post, and at the end of the post it says, "Yo, I'm giving away this cool. I just recorded a video about this. If you want to learn how to put this into action, let me know in the comments below and I'll send it to you."
Right. I've seen some of his I've responded to some of his content like that recently.
Right.
Yep.
And in this case, then his chat bot from
I was just going to say, he has a very effective chatbot system.
Go High Level likes the comment, replies to the comment, sends them a message.
Yep.
Message says, "Hey, did you just ask for that cool thing? Right? That cool ebook I wrote for you, or I think you just asked for that video about wealth hypnosis, or I think you just asked for that video about the overcome procrastination session, right? Where do you want me to email that to you?"
Right. And it's really forthcoming that you're interacting with a chat bot.
Right. It's not trying to pretend to be human.
No, it's not. And it even like offers you to learn about their chatbot system in case you want to implement it.
And that must be a new improvement to it, right? That I haven't seen yet. So,
okay, yeah.
But basically, then what happens is you put in your email address, and now you're on the email list, and then the system emails you, but it also gives you the link right in the message to the thing.
Yep.
You click on through and you watch the video on YouTube, or you read the PDF. Interestingly enough, in most cases, no calls to action were in those pieces of content. They were just content. And then an hour later or 45 minutes later, the chatbot follows up and basically says, "Yeah, I'm putting together a cool class, teaching people how to do this. Let me know if you want details." And people say, "Sure."
Yeah.
And then there's a link to an offer with a countdown timer. And so what happens is he does a social post, and then I think what he is doing is when one of those social posts takes off and gets some traction, then he boosts it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so once he sees a social post that is working, then he puts some advertising money behind it, because they don't all work. And so what ends up happening is he ends up and he does one of these every day. And so he's creating a social post that is hooked up to a direct lead generation system that appears to be working much better than a traditional squeeze page to offer system.
Got it.
And it's really doing the same thing. It's giving away a free thing and then following up with an offer. It's just that it's doing it without driving people through a squeeze page and only giving them the offer if they ask for it. And so you could totally do this with booking a private session with you.
Okay.
But the trick is, dude, if your social media techniques aren't working, take somebody's course and implement it. See how it works. If it works good, get better. If it doesn't work good, try something else. That's it. Because all of these things that are working right now won't work at some point. The landscape changes. And there are some underlying principles that stay the same. So the more you try these different techniques and principles, like you'll start to get more about, you'll start making better choices about what you think will and won't work in the future and this kind of stuff. And so this particular technique that I've been watching Kern do for a few months and then recently bought his thing is great. And I've already sold a bunch of hypnosis sessions using a manual labor version of this, and I'm just trying it to see if it worked. And so what I recommend, so your assignment, Eric, is to do the manual labor version of this first. Like go and like I'll talk you through it, but we can also do it for Get Shit Done too. You know what I mean? Like that is the idea. But you absolutely can use this methodology to get people to respond. So yeah, go read a few more of Kern's
I'll
posts
do that
and think about what you could give people that you've already made or that something you could make today.
Got it.
In theory. You know, like in an hour. That would be awesome and that they really want, right? So here's the thing. So that and every time you, so the reason I'm suggesting this, dude, A, is because it's on my mind and I'm thinking about it and learning it and trying it anyway.
Got it.
But your issue is that your funnel, your webinar registration page is your front door. And it's indescript and unclear who's invited to the party.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, it's something that I've been grappling with for some time. Who am I talking? And the irony of it is this is the exact stuff I'm talking about inside the webinar, how to find your niche. And I've been on the fence about who my niche is for a long time.
So it's not up to, so here's the thing you're missing, dude. It's not it's not for you to decide, it's for you to discover. You need to try a bunch of stuff to discover it.
Yeah. I need to just jump into something and see what happens and then fine tune from there. No, I got it. And no, I actually feel really excited about trying some new things immediately after this call.
Great.
Yep.
So if you try a more dynamic, polarizing, in your face, super specific webinar each week, really calling out to a specific group of people and a specific benefit that they're going to get out of showing up to that webinar, then your posts for the week can also be really dynamic and engaging and interesting and specific to them, right?
Yep.
So if you were to do a webinar next week and you were to get 3 moms who are superstar network marketers who are going to come on and just like share their story, you could do like attention moms who want to build a successful side hustle in network marketing. We're doing a round robin, amazing interview with 3 superstar moms who crush it with network marketing next week. Get ready, because this is going to be wild, or whatever. And then like you promote it all week long, and you promote it everywhere you can think of, in every way that you can. Yep. And then the next week you do a different one to maybe the same group of people, maybe a different group of people, but you try different things. But like your social media posts are essentially movie trailers for your movie, and your webinar is your movie. And so if your movie sounds lame, your posts are going to be lame and no one's going to respond to them.
Right.
If they're lame and vague, no one,
I know this stuff. That's been the frustrating part, is I know this stuff and I just, like, what even is my niche? And
dude,
just during this,
I need you to be like, I'm going to try something and see if it works.
Right. Exactly. So what's on my mind right now is I'm going to try this network marketing superstar thing and see what happens with it. I'm going to immediately after this live stream rebrand Pure Path to Prosperity into network marketing superstars and see what happens. Because this is what I ran into the other day working on my webinar slides. It's not just an action plan to success. It's an action plan to success with network marketing. And I was running into conflict with that because some of the steps don't fit into other business models, like duplication. You don't need duplication if you're running.
Lingo is specific to network marketing. So
yeah, exactly.
Don't worry about rebranding.
Okay.
It's not going to get you where you want to go.
All right.
Maybe you're going to do that. Like if you end up getting that domain or something, if you somehow, like, cool. But like rebranding the network marketing superstars isn't going to solve your problem. Okay. Getting good copy on your webinar registration page that is attractive to the people that you're trying to attract is going to get you people registered for your webinar. Okay. Did you find like 12 webinar registration pages to model?
I've looked at a bunch of them. Yeah.
Okay. Is there one that's like, this is the one?
A lot of the ones that I looked at were kind of weak. And I was actually having a hard time. I thought I would have a much easier time finding webinar registration pages from people working with Kangen and Enagic. Because last I knew, everybody was running webinars. And right now I'm finding a lack of registration pages, at least I saw a couple of people that were like, ask me for the link and I'll give it to you. So it was nothing I could just like click on and look at. And so, yeah, I was looking at, other people's registration pages for other opportunities. But yeah, I was not finding an abundance of Enagic and Kangen webinar registration pages to look at. And a couple of the ones that I did see were, I don't know, they just look like everything else.
Well, dude, so look, if you're not finding any webinar registration pages, then the issue is that you're not actually paying. I think the issue, tell me if I'm wrong, but like, are you or aren't you following all the big leaders on social media? Are you or aren't you on all their email lists? Like, you should be seeing what they're promoting every day.
Right. Okay.
Like, what are they promoting if they're not promoting webinars? What's the link in their bio on their Instagram pages? What are they promoting on their TikToks? What are they promoting to their email lists? Like, if they're like, maybe I don't know anything about, how people are selling water ionizers, but like, I mean, call your upline and ask them what they're doing.
Right.
If they're not doing webinars, find out what they're doing.
Yep.
Right. And again, just because they're not doing webinars, honestly, that has absolutely zero impact on whether or not you should do webinars.
Exactly.
Right? Like, if you're trying to build a webinar, still, like, right now your webinar registration page, unless you've changed it, the last version of that I looked at last week or whatever, wasn't that compelling. And so So anyway, to go back to your post, right? So you had a picture of you at the sauna. Cool. I'm going to read it out loud. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So been getting up at 5:30 every morning and going straight to the gym. I've been a total night owl my whole life, so it's been an adjustment, although starting to become routine. I do notice on most days it really sets the tone for extreme productivity throughout the day. Today was more challenging. Maybe I didn't properly hydrate myself enough before all the vigorous exercise in hot infrared saunas, but had a splitting headache for most of the day and pretty low energy. At the same time, I did manage to get some work done. I've been working on slides for a new presentation that I feel ultra excited about. Presenting webinars is something new that I've started fairly recently, which has helped me get to stretch and grow in a lot of ways. The first few I did were okay, but I feel ultimately more or less just a regurgitation of facts from other webinars I've seen that my team members had put together in the past. What I'm working on now is something truly my own creation. Not only that, but it's teaching something that will be valuable to people regardless of if it works or they work with me or not. I'm calling it the Action Plan to Success webinar. It's essentially a roadmap that is designed to help you get from where you are in where you're in life right now to where you want to be, regardless of what you're selling. This is for you if you are wanting more freedom and flexibility in your life, if you're sick and tired of working for other people, and you want to start working for yourself on your own schedule, on your own terms. I'll be sharing the 7 steps to your success, leading you through the process, what it takes, and how each step builds on the next, to where you get it right, wind up effortless enrollment in whatever you're selling. If this is your cup of tea and you're ready to learn something that could change your life for the better, drop action plan below and I'll send you to the registration page. I'll be streaming live on Tuesday, March 4th on 7 p.m. Okay, great. So, all right. Constructive criticism. You ready?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Awesome. Okay, number 1 is it's almost all about you.
Okay.
And they don't really care. They're way more interested in them, right? Yep. So like if you're going to do social posts all about you, that's cool, but they're probably not going to get you webinar registrations, right? And like there's time and place for all sorts of social sharing, right?
Yep.
It's just a matter of what you're trying to do with it. As I mentioned, I think the 7 steps to success is way too vague. It's too vague on what it's going to do for me or who it is that it's going to help. But then you also have like this hint of this is an MLM like scattered in there when you use the word enrollment in whatever you're selling. And when you're like, whether you work with me or not, was very like off-putting.
Okay.
Right. And so it's kind of like, oh, he's trying not to sound like a salesman, even though he's totally just trying to sell me something. Right. So the other thing is that you made yourself sound like a terrible webinar presenter. You spent the first half. You spent the first half of the post saying like how bad your other webinars sucked, right? So it was like, and then what you were offering wasn't that compelling. So what I'm saying is like, I'm throwing an awesome party on Tuesday, and I'd love it if you came. It's gonna be Elvis themed. Bring some cheese dip. But like we're gonna have 3 disco balls or whatever. But like really think about how you can just offer something even better. Make it better, make it cooler, make it more relevant, more specific, more clear what they're going to get out of it. Like, so Eric.
Yeah.
I'm doing a webinar next Wednesday night. And it's going to be a webinar unlike any other webinar I've ever done before. It's going to be a cooking webinar. And I'm going to share with the world how to make the world's perfect tray of nachos and I'm going to make a fresh batch of Tellman's Golden Salsa live on the webinar and reveal the secret recipe to the world for the first time in over 25 years. You want to come? You can make nachos along with me, and I'll even share with you a special vegan version that'll blow your socks off.
Nice. Yeah, that's compelling.
Okay. So like, I'm going to give my secret recipe for the best salsa in the world away. Yeah, I'm not actually going to do that, by the way. By the way. But the point is that really, yeah, just make it better. Make it better and more helpful to someone.
Got it.
If it's the wrong someone, change it for the next one. There'll always be more webinars to do, right? And if what you do every week is interesting and compelling and curious, like, you want to be enthusiastic about promoting every week because you know it's going to be fucking cool.
Yep.
Right. And so, and if you're just coming up with content yourself, then that's a good reason to interview people. Right. Speaking of which, I would love it. We're going to be doing more of this. I would love it if you would bring in some people to interview that you think would be awesome. I'm going to be doing the same thing, but like,
great.
Totally bring in some awesome people to interview. That'd be really cool.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I would, the methodology that I shared with you earlier about how to essentially, that's the Frank Kern thing that he's teaching right now. Like you're going to see us doing this with Get Shit Done anyway, and I expect it's going to work really well. But I don't expect any technique like that to last forever. And so the real question is, how do you get more people, in this case, registered for your webinar? And maybe the answer is you stop doing a webinar and you start doing something that's more compelling for people.
Sure.
But in the meantime, you're doing it with a webinar. So let's do everything we can to supercharge that. Did you, for your last webinar on Tuesday, did you promote on all those channels every single day?
No, I didn't.
Why?
I think I was feeling unprepared and focused on creating the webinar.
Okay.
And it's my most in-depth presentation ever. It's the first one that I've really put myself into and haven't just more or less copied what's already out there. And it's been a pretty in-depth process for me, and I'm almost finished with it now. So I actually did not have my webinar this week. I focused that entire day, like 15 hours working on my webinar. Yep.
And you were wondering why you're suffering from burnout. Dude.
Oh, I know why.
So look, listen. It is so much more important that you follow through on your commitment to do the weekly webinar than it is for you to make this thing the most grandiose thing ever. That you're like the whole, I didn't feel prepared. That is like your number one excuse, and it's killing you. It's absolutely, look at it, like, just embrace, like, I'm telling you.
I mean, I thought about it. I was
as your friend, like, it is totally like not promoting your weekly webinar because you don't feel prepared for your webinar is ultimate self-sabotage. Okay. That like, and like, I do the webinar, do it every week, make it better every week, but promote it. So if you want to know why nobody's showing up to your webinar, it's because you're not promoting your webinar, dude. Like, if you do, what the hell is happening on my phone? Why are okay, gosh, I don't know what is going on. I just my phone just like started lighting up with notifications out of nowhere. Weird. Anyway, so if you're promoting your webinar every day on multiple channels, dude,
Yep.
you're going to start seeing a pattern of the types of posts that you're doing that are working.
Got it.
Okay. If you, and again, I don't think you can keep up with this. I can't, but like if you were to post once a day on every type of post on Facebook, every type of post on TikTok, every type of post on Instagram, uploaded a YouTube video, every type of post on YouTube, right? That's like 30 different posts a day. But if you did that every day for your weekly webinar, you're going to see the ones where you're getting more registrations and when you're not, and you're going to be able to see the posts that are getting engagement and the ones that aren't, and you're going to see where there's messaging that resonates across multiple platforms and where there's messaging that only works on one platform. You're going to see like how wording the title of your thing on your YouTube videos, makes a difference. So it's just like, this is why it's hard to be on multiple platforms at once. At least until you have your thing working in one place with one traffic source. And so what I would suggest is I feel like I don't know that this is true, but I feel like what has been growing the fast for a long time and is growing the fastest right now is TikTok. I feel like plugging into TikTok gets you instant visibility, like within a few days.
Yeah, I've gotten quite active there again recently.
It's but you need to get in the habit of promoting yourself every day. You need to get in the habit of having an ad that is generating you traffic and creating a lead for you somehow, somewhere. And you can improve that system over time, and you'll have to. Right? And just going to a webinar registration page is a pretty basic version of this. Okay. But like it's step one in getting that cooking. Right. So my recommendation is that you unquestionably are promoting something somehow every single day in your group and on social on one or more platforms. And for now, have it be a weekly webinar. At some point in the future, you might do one webinar a month, and then maybe you'll promote direct to a sales letter for 1 week, and then maybe you'll promote to a challenge another week, and then maybe you'll promote to your YouTube channel the next. Like there are different ways you can cycle this stuff or do different things, but at the end of the day, try different hooks, different angles for the webinar. Use ChatGPT and or Claude for examples and ideas and brainstorms and like run ideas by me. But you don't let the I don't feel prepared excuse ever again prevent you from doing what you need to do to promote the thing and build your list. Like that is holding you back.
Right. I mean, yeah, I thought about it the other day on Tuesday when normally I'm running my webinars on Tuesday. I was deep in flow state of making my new webinar, and for me it took going through the process of making the slides to come up with the webinar. So yeah, I mean, I thought about it. I could just do my old Wave of Prosperity webinar because I have it already. I could do
Dude, listen, here's the deal. You're missing the point. You're totally missing the point. You've got to promote yourself every day. If you want to make money every day, you got to promote yourself every day. And right now you're using organic ads. You're doing social posts. So you got to promote yourself every day. If you promote yourself every day and your webinar system is built properly, you're going to get sales calls booked as a result of people registering for your webinar before they attend the webinar. Okay. So just you have the basic framework set up. It's not even set up well yet. Okay. You have like a stick frame, like set up, and that's better than no frame. But like what's going to happen is it's going to be webinar registration with text message. They're going to get an email. They're going to get a text message. They're going to land on the thank you page. There's going to be a video of you. They're going to book a call with you before the webinar happens. Maybe they're going to get a video so they can watch the thing before the call happens. Then they're going to get on the webinar. They're going to go through the webinar. They're going to check it out. And then they're going to call to action is going to be to go book a call. Over time, you might end up selling them the ultimate network marketing super system. And one of the things that they get is a team recruitment call or something as a bonus when they sign up for it, and so they're actually paying you to get on the calls now. And now you have an upsell sequence and whatever. So anyway, the point is that the funnel that you're driving to is so much more important than your weekly webinar. But getting in the habit of building your list every single day is your top priority, however it is you're doing it. And then getting people to, as a result, to take the next step and to book and to fill your call calendar, that's more important than the webinar itself.
Okay.
Driving people into a funnel, creating leads, and having them book calls is the outcome. The webinar is one way to get there. Right? Whether or not they ever attend the webinar, if you are promoting the webinar every day, people are joining your list every day, people are joining your group every day, and then people are booking calls every day, and then once you get a great webinar that gets a reasonably high conversion rate and books calls well, that's your evergreen webinar. Congratulations. Now maybe you can do one new webinar a month instead of one new webinar a week, now that you have something that you can work with long-term, right?
Right.
And maybe it switches. No longer it's a webinar. Now it's an opt-in to a video. And then maybe you switch it up entirely and it goes, and you switch the opt-in and you're running the Frank Kern system. And it's like they respond to a piece of content and then you offer them if they want to see the video that you recorded the other day. And then they'll like, yeah, and you send it to them and then they book a call or whatever, so all of this is going to change over time. So it's just getting in the consistent rhythm of doing the thing of you or your business. But for now, it's you doing the things every day that it needs to do to generate new leads and generate new sales, regardless of how you feel or what else is coming up in your life.
Right.
Like, that's what you need to do. And honestly, that's how I built a giant list.
Okay.
is by focusing on that every day for years.
Okay.
Right. And create over time, creating long-term traffic streams that built my list consistently, whether or not I did any, whether what I was doing that week was successful or not. Right. And there were lots of different things that I tried to do that, and a few of the things worked. Right. And so, but really it's just like creatively looking at, okay, how many leads am I getting today? How many opted in, and looking at your numbers and focusing on improving them.
Yep.
Every day. Right.
Got it.
But if you improve your messaging on your webinar and you keep on trying a bunch of different stuff and you promote every day, some way, somehow, some things are going to work better than others. But like, yeah, just doing one post and it not really getting a response is no big deal. But like,
right,
trying a radically different type of post every day for 7 days and noticing which one works the best and trying to do, like, experiment more, okay. Experiment faster.
Okay.
That's what I recommend.
Yeah. All right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool. And I would totally just experiment with the methodology that Frank's using. And I'm going through his training right now. So ask me about it, and I'm going to be doing it more for Get Shit Done stuff. So
awesome.
Rock and roll. All right. Well, again, we've been going long on our episodes, but I guess that's good. So Eric, you want to do a little Pure Path promotion?
Sure. So Pure Path to Prosperity is my Facebook group community where I'm talking about all the stuff that we've been talking about here today and helping you guys with it. If you're looking to create an online business to get you to a better point in your life, more financial security, abundance, more flexibility in your life to where you can spend your time doing the things you love to do in your own environment, working in your own environment, not working for other people anymore on their schedule, but on your own schedule, in your own space, and on your own time. Join my Facebook group, The Pure Path to Prosperity. And yeah, we've been talking about webinars. I'm going to be presenting webinars in this group, and you can sign up through the content in the group. So yeah, you can find the link in the description of this video, and I'll see you there.
Awesome. Eric, I was thinking, I did a test post in the Get Shit Done group right before we started, and I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I would encourage you to go into your group and do an image headline post, or background color headline post, where you say, on a scale of 1 to 10, or how interested are you in network marketing on a scale of 1 to 10 ?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Just get a vibe on whether your people are into or not into or non-responsive to that idea. I asked the same question about productivity in the Get Shit Done group, just to kind of give an example. But keep, one of the biggest things, dude, that I'd like to remind you.
Yep.
Is that with Kangen, I really would encourage you to set the water ionizer up and do more videos that somehow involve it.
Okay.
Like rather than you just being a talking head, find a way.
I used to do that. I feel like I just was beating a dead horse with that one. I felt like a vacuum cleaner salesperson, and just been not really product oriented with my content.
Maybe not. You have to be into it too. But one way or the other, I would certainly get in there and ask, your people what they're interested in, how interested are they in network marketing, all these types of things.
Yeah.
Does it turn you on? Does it turn you off? Just have a real conversation with them about it. But overall, go into all of the Kangen groups that there are. Really look at what people's problems and challenges are that they're asking about and posting about, and look at the posts that people make that get hundreds of responses and things.
Okay.
And think about how you can talk about those types of things in your own group, right? So when you are doing your weekly webinar, right, I encourage you to swing for the fences, as they say, right? Isn't that what they say? But try to hit a home run every time, and try to do something bold, interesting, engaging, attention getting with your webinars. And if you start if you do a webinar for women or for moms, private message every single person in your group that's a woman and invite them, and everybody that's a guy, ask them if you know a woman that wants to increase their income or is interested, invite them to the webinar. Here's the webinar registration link, but private message everybody. It doesn't mean you need to private message everybody every single week, because hopefully, simply dude, let me give you another example.
Okay.
Your group has 300 and some odd people or whatever, right? So go in there and be like, hey, I'm doing a webinar next week on how to help people become more successful with network marketing. And I was curious, do you have any questions, or are there any topics you'd like me to cover? Because I could really use some help brainstorming. Oh, dude, just ask your group in a group question. Say, hey, I'd like some help brainstorming topics for my next webinar. Is there a topic you'd like me to discuss or interview someone about.
All right.
You know, pure path brainstorm. But what I was suggesting that you do in the individual text messages is ask everybody one at a time. Because like, hey, I'm doing a webinar next week on how do people be, you know, I would say, if I were you, I would say on how to help network marketers be more successful. Is there anything you'd like, you know, do you have any questions, or is there a topic you'd like me to discuss or focus on? Like,
right.
But if you did that with literally, if you opened that question up to all 400 of your people, a few things would happen. The first thing that would happen was a shitload more people would show up to your webinar. Okay. The second thing that would happen is you'd actually hopefully read the responses and pay attention to what they're asking for. And after a few hundred responses, you're going to start seeing some actual patterns and some recurring themes.
Yep.
And so not only are you seeing patterns and themes of what people are asking for, and that can help inform what you're doing a webinar on and the specific language and phrases and bullet points and words in the headline to use from the messaging. Okay. But the compound effect is they will see that you heard them. The individual people that you reached out to and connected and asked for their opinion, when you follow through and create a webinar about their topic, they will see that and they will follow you for the rest of their lives. So this is what happens over time, and it's how you get to know your market, really.
Okay.
And so when you're just coming up with topics, it's shooting in the dark a little bit. Looking at other people's groups and finding out what people are posting about and getting reacquainted with that is going to help you. But like that's the topic. Like a hot topic for a post in a Facebook group is a hot topic for a webinar in most cases, right? Do more detective work than guesswork, right? And so reaching out.
I mean, how I came up with my current webinar that I'm working on was through a poll that I had in my group.
Right.
Yeah. It was the one poll option that got the most amount of votes.
Yeah. So keep putting a poll in the group every day.
Yep.
Right. And if every day burns out, do it once a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
I started doing every day, and the second day, nobody voted on any of the options.
Don't give up so quickly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Don't give up so quickly. But yeah, I would really recommend the answer is be more specific, be more clear on your squeeze page, in your posts, be more consistent with inviting people to your weekly webinar. Don't call it a weekly webinar, call it a webinar that's happening this week.
That's right.
Amazing one-time only live event happening this week, right? And if the messaging on your opt-in page gets better and your funnel gets more sophisticated to book calls, like doing the daily activity of inviting people in will get booked calls, and that will fill up your calendar, and then your webinar will give you an extra burst, and then and the more you do this, the bigger your list will get and the easier it will be to get people on your webinar.
Right.
But short version is promote yourself every day, make your squeeze page better, keep on making your weekly webinar better every time.
Got it.
Will make a huge difference. Cool. Rock and roll. Guys, if you're not already a member at getshitdone.com, what are you waiting on? We are a hyper productive group of entrepreneurs. We actually train entrepreneurs how to get more productive and how to get shit done at Get Shit Done. That's our private community. So go to getshitdone.com. Please join us there. If you were inspired by today's episode and you want to work with me directly, you can book a private hypnosis session with me right now for a limited time. I'm offering pay what it's worth to you private hypnosis session. Instead of paying the $1,000 per session that I normally charge, you are going to name your own price. I only take one new client per day. So when they're booked, they're booked. If you are lucky enough to get on my schedule when you go to workwithtellman.com, then make sure to show up and show up on time, because it's going to be awesome. There's a video with all the details for you right there. And that's basically what we've got today. Eric, you know what time it is?
It's time to get shit done.
It's time to get shit done. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you all soon. And
all right.
May you get more registrants for your next webinar, Eric.
Thank you.
Rock and roll. All right.
All right. See you guys.
Bye, guys.